Okay, is council ready?
Well,
All right, is council ready for the all right, the objection is sustained. Is council ready for the jury?
sure, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, council. Or deputy. Oh, you may approach. Thank you.
Give the witness heads up of the court's ruling.
Yes. Okay, please be seated. All right, Mr. Larson, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. When we left off, we were discussing your review of the video evidence in this case. Do you recall that, Agent?
Yeah, yes.
And are you aware of an additional video that was created in preparation for trial using these independent videos, which essentially was a synced up composite video of Officer Potter's body-worn camera, Officer Sergeant Johnson's body-worn camera, and the squad still video?
Yes.
And that was it was a fair and accurate composite video of these three video sources, correct?
What I reviewed, yes.
Yes. The state offers Exhibit 204.
Is 204 already in tape? Is 204 is a photo of what?
204 is a composite video which has never been shown with this jury. It's the synced up video of Officer Potter and Sergeant Johnson's body-worn cameras along with the squad video, which separately illuminates the location of all of the individuals.
All right.
Your Honor.
The objection is overruled, and you may show that.
Now, Sergeant Johnson, during the playing of this exhibit, I may pause the video several times and ask you several questions, okay?
Okay.
Please publish.
We will be here in a second.
Pause. Sergeant Johnson, or pardon me, strike that. Agent Peterson, right now you see two images on your screen.
Yes.
And in the top left corner, do you know where that video source is from?
That is from Officer Potter's body camera.
Okay. And the image on the right is going to be Sergeant Johnson's?
Yes.
Okay. In a moment, a third image is going to appear on the screen. Is that the squad video of the same time frame?
It should be, yes.
Okay. And this image begins at 2:01. Okay. Please start. All right. Continue. Pause the video. Sergeant, pardon me, Agent Peterson, at the time we paused, you talked about observing something that was noteworthy to you about how Officer Potter approached the vehicle. Do you recall what that was? Some conduct that Officer Potter had, which you noted?
Yes, but I guess I'm not seeing it in where the video is.
Pardon me. When it occurs, could you please identify and we'll pause the video?
Yes.
Continue to go.
Right there.
Pause. What did you observe?
It appeared to me in watching this that there was a manipulation in some way of her holster.
Why did that attract your attention?
I've seen it before on other videos I've watched of officers. I myself have done that when I was on patrol. Just caught my attention.
Yep. And when you're on patrol, what exactly are you believing is occurring on the video?
So I carried the same type of holster that Officer Potter used, a level 2, and it would be my practice at times to, when I was making a traffic stop, unlatch the first level of protection or safety on the holster, just to, I guess, give myself a little of an advantage should I need to draw.
Okay. So essentially it's a way to, if you had to draw your firearm, you're preparing to do it more quickly?
Yes.
Leaving, Your Honor,
The objection is sustained.
move to answer the objection.
I don't believe he has answered.
Well, why would you do that?
It would just make drawing the firearm easier, more efficient.
Okay. You can continue to play the video.
You're under arrest, Daunte.
You got a warrant.
You're not doing that?
Don't. You said stop, bro. Don't do it.
Just stay back.
I'll tase you! Taser, taser, taser!
Ah, he shot me.
Oh, shit! I just shot him.
You dead?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Jim, sit down.
Oh my god!
PI Access 63rd and Captain Wright, Flexion 38 stop, start north on the red.
Steady north on the red, then you repeat your body turn foot.
Agent Peterson, when you reviewed that video, did you write reports as to what you observed?
Yes.
And when you took those notes, you were watching these videos because you knew that you were conducting or participating in the conducting of a criminal investigation, correct?
Correct.
And certain observations were important to your investigation, correct?
Correct.
Did you take note in your review of the video of whether Sergeant Johnson's head was visible on Kim Potter's body-worn camera during the incident?
I did take note of that, yes.
And was it visible throughout the incident?
His head,
Object to this opinion of the witness. The body camera speaks for itself. All of them do.
Okay. Is overruled, and you may answer the question.
Agent Peterson, was it possible to see Sergeant Johnson's head throughout the incident from Officer Potter's body-worn camera?
there were times where you could see his head, yes.
Okay. And during those times, what direction was his head pointed?
Towards the interior of the vehicle.
Okay. Was it possible to see his face?
At times, yes.
Okay. At the time of the shot, was it possible to see his face?
I recall seeing the top of his head and not his face.
Okay. So the video revealed that he was looking down?
Yes.
When you examined the video, did you recall examining Officer Lucky's position at various points during the incident?
Yes.
Okay. Could you describe what you observed with regard to the location of Officer Lucky's feet, shoulders, elbows?
At what point?
Throughout the
Throughout.
10, 12, 14-second period of the struggle with Mr. Wright?
He's standing outside the vehicle on the driver's side and does reach in to try to restrain Mr. Wright.
Did you observe that his feet and shoulders remained out of the vehicle?
Check that as leading, Your Honor, and the video speaks for itself.
The objection is sustained.
What with regard to, were you able to observe where Officer Lucky's shoulders were throughout this
At
incident?
what time, Your Honor?
Your Honor, I do have still images if you'd like me to show them.
Just a moment, please. Would you like to finish your question and make it more precise as to time?
Mr. Miller, could you please put up on the video the time of 2:01 and 58 seconds? Showing you now Exhibit 204. It's paused at 2:01 and 58 seconds. Would you agree?
Yes.
Where is Officer Lucky's body at this moment?
It is outside the driver's compartment of the vehicle.
Okay. Where are his hips?
They're slightly behind the open door, driver's door.
And can you infer where his elbows are?
Well, on the bottom squad video, you can see his right arm is outside the vehicle, and at the top left video, you can just make that his elbow appears on this video to be outside the vehicle.
Okay. Can we go ahead 2 seconds to 2:02 and 00? Okay, you'd agree the video is now paused at 2:02 and 0 seconds, correct?
Correct.
Can you see where Officer Lucky's body is at this time?
From this video, the bottom video there from the squad camera, it appears that his feet and legs are outside the vehicle on the pavement, and his torso is kind of leaning towards the open door.
If you look at the top left corner in Officer Potter's body-worn camera, are Officer Lucky's shoulders inside the vehicle or outside the vehicle?
Based on the view of this video, it does not appear that his shoulders are in the vehicle.
Okay, let's go ahead 1 second. Officer Peterson, I've just moved ahead 1 second. Would your answers remain the same for this still image?
Yes.
All right. Now I want to turn back to 2:01 and 59 seconds, and I have another couple questions for you, sir. Okay. Did you also examine Sergeant Johnson's position at various points during this incident?
Your Honor, I object to this. The video speaks for itself. The time speaks for itself. This officer's view of it should not be, the jury's the one that decides it's not this officer. He's not an expert of videos.
All right. Counsel, will you please? Members of the jury, we're going to break for lunch, okay? So we'll start up again at about 1:30. Okay, you may step down.
Your Honor, Paul and I talked with the special agent during this lunch break because I want to make sure that I know what he's going to say, and we sure haven't found anything out by now. I'd like to talk to him.
I don't think there's anything to prohibit you from talking to the agent. All right. Why don't we take a lunch break and let's everybody here. You know what my problem is. You've got a witness telling the jury what is on a piece of evidence, which is the evidence is the video. And it seems like this is more like a final argument material where you stop the video and say, look, both of his feet are on the ground. He's not hanging out of the car. Why do you need a supposed expert witness to describe what's on a video?
I did not qualify Agent Peterson as an expert. He did review these videos and knows details of them because it was part of his investigation. And in fact, a review of these videos was a significant part of this investigation, as it is now with many different criminal investigations, including ones involving officer-involved shootings.
Okay, but
So-
when you call him a DCA or, given his position, the jury's going to get the impression that he is an expert. So,
Your Honor, I just wanted to clarify that the state's intent this morning was to introduce a series of still images which show that Johnson's body is completely out of the vehicle. These were selected to provide efficient and clear testimony about that fact. I understand the court's ruling excluding those. So then at this point, the state is going to go through those several seconds of video that have been introduced for the jury so that they can see and the state can make that very simple point that has been observed by Agent Peterson. it has been more difficult using the video as opposed to the still images, and I apologize that I can't do it more efficiently than I was intending to do it this morning with the still images. Thank you.
What they neglect to mention, Your Honor, is that taser, I'm going to tase you, then a few seconds go by, I'm going to tase you again, and then taser. When the taser was yelled, that's the signal for the officers to try and get out of the car. Right after she yelled that, she shot and they're moving out. So to impeach Johnson, which they didn't use this video to impeach him like they're supposed to, they didn't do that. Now they're trying to impeach him by some witness saying that, he was out of the car. That's ridiculous. That's just not good evidence.
Okay, the still photographs, I think, are a little, they don't give the whole picture because the timing, it doesn't show the timing. So the video has already been shown. It shows the timing. It shows everybody's body position at very specific times and when it happened and what their body positions were. So I excluded the photographs for two reasons. Number one, a number of them were not provided to the defense beforehand. And secondly, it was duplicative of what has already been submitted, which is the video. And third, it can be misleading because it's a shot at a certain period of time that doesn't show the entire sequence.
And I would only say, Your Honor, that still imagery does not somehow prevent the jury from reviewing the entire video in the manner in which the court suggested, but it does often have the ability to impeach some sort of sense that there was a fog of war where Johnson didn't know where his body was located. It specifically can rebut that notion that he was going to be being dragged on this incident. That was a significant point. It's basically defense number 2 that we've had to hear about all of last week. So the fact that there's still imagery that can illuminate the credibility of that claim is what the state has been attempting to do during the testimony phase of this case. Certainly it's going to be brought up in closing argument, but the fact that we can do that in closing argument doesn't abrogate the fact that we can also use a witness to illuminate and to describe video evidence, which is a significant aspect of any investigation involving body-worn camera. Respectfully, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if they wanted to impeach Mr. Johnson, Major Johnson, they could have cross-examined him on it, like a lawyer should do, and not come back later without showing us photos and use still photos. That's not fair, and it's not admissible. It's simply not.
Your Honor, if I may at that point, I'm trying not to have multiple lawyers argue, I get it, but if I were impeaching with a prior inconsistent statement, that might be one thing with Major Johnson. But as you recall, in chambers, I raised an objection to lay witnesses being unnoticed experts. And so I didn't object at trial because the court had said they could do that because they get trained. But he nonetheless offered an opinion, and so we get to impeach that opinion without having to ask him, and that's what we've been doing in part about that. And that's why I think Mr. Gray's concern about proper form of impeachment is just wrong. We're just attacking what appears to be the underlying basis for his opinion.
Well, aren't you supposed to do that on rebuttal? So,
I know of no requirement that we save that for rebuttal, Your Honor, because we rebut their case, and he was our witness. But regardless, I don't know if
all right, we're kind of getting off base here. I mean, we're talking about these still photographs. They're out. I'm not going to reconsider my decision on that. Okay. The video evidence is the evidence. So that's my ruling on that, and there's no need for this officer to testify as to what the video evidence shows. You can show that to the jury. Okay. All right.